Hi, this is Alex Fernandez with Bud and Doug Walters Auto Sales, and today I'll be doing a video going over the primary features inside of this 2018 Lincoln MKX Reserve. We'll start by talking about the touchscreen display here, work our way down to the buttons we have down below. We'll talk about some buttons here next to the screen, and then to the steering wheel and the buttons that we have there, along with the stalks behind the steering wheel. Our gauge cluster display here, and then some switches that we have off to the left side, and finally we'll cover some buttons up at the top here. Beginning with the touchscreen display, this is where we'll interact with things like our audio, climate control, phone for hands-free calling, navigation, and a couple other functions as well. The screen that we're on right now is what's called the home page. You access that by pushing that house icon in the top left corner of the screen. That house icon accesses the home page, which gives us a snapshot view of our navigation, our audio, our phone, and then our climate controlled seats, heated and cooled, and our heated steering wheel as well. We can access any of those functions by simply pressing on its section. We'll begin by covering audio. Right now we're listening to FM radio. If we wanted to change that, we can press that sources button, and then we have access to AM, FM, satellite, CD, and Bluetooth. Along the bottom of the screen here, we have the presets. And you'll see this presets button here. We can cycle through a couple different pages of those presets. To set a preset, simply change the station to what you'd like it to be. We can do so using either the seek buttons here or the tuning dial. We can also use direct tune, which gives us a keypad on which we're able to enter the exact station number. Once you've chosen the station and you'd like to save it, simply press and hold in whichever slot you'd like to use, and you'll see there that it will save that preset once it's beeped. We have volume control here for the audio, power for that right in the middle, and then we have the seek buttons and the tuning dial, and then we have our CD player and eject button just there. Moving to the next section is our climate control. We can access that here on the screen. We also have control of some of those functions down below with physical buttons. We can change the temperatures here. We have dual zone control. We have the driver's side and the passenger side. Right now they are separate. If we want them paired together, push that dual button, and then they're paired together. Simply change that passenger temperature if you want them separate. To adjust where the air is coming from, which vents it's coming from, simply press on the screen here using this section here. We have the top set of vents, the bottom set of vents, and then a defrost menu, which gives us access to front and rear defroster, as well as a max front defroster shortcut, which will just turn the fan speed up all the way for you as well. We have auto mode, which will allow you to set the temperature, and then it takes care of the rest for you, such as fan speed and vent location. We have our fan speed here, and then again that passenger temperature. On the right side, we have our heated and cooled seats controls here, and then our air conditioning menu right there, where we have air conditioning, recirculate mode, and then max AC, which again is a shortcut button that's able to turn on the air conditioning, recirculate modes, turn the fan speed all the way up, and turn the temperature all the way down all at once. It's just a quicker way to get some cold air going inside the vehicle. Moving on to the next section is our phone menu. We're able to pair a device here for hands-free calling, so you can make and receive phone calls while in the vehicle without having to take your eyes off the road. There are still some devices in here that we're going to actually go through and delete, so the new owners will have a blank slate to work with. Now when we go back to that phone menu, you see add phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
Pressing that would begin the pairing process, and you'll see then we can choose to open up our Bluetooth settings on a compatible device, and then search for Lincoln MKX on that device and walk through the pairing process there. This vehicle is also equipped with built-in navigation. Pressing this destination button here gives us the menu through which we can plug in our destination. We can search either using an address, a city, or a point of interest. If we have entered in addresses or places previously, those would be in this section here. You're able to set up home and work addresses, and then also create some favorites if there are addresses that you'll use regularly. And along the bottom we have some points of interest categories such as food, fuel, hotel, ATM. And if we push see all, then we have access to the rest of those categories. And we're able to search either nearby, along a route if we have one active, near the destination, or in a particular city. Once you've entered in a destination and press search and confirm the route, the navigation system will give you turn-by-turn voice prompts through the speakers as well. Within the apps section, primarily that would be used for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Those are programs that run on either an iPhone or an Android smartphone that, when plugged into the USB port of the vehicle, allow you to display things like your phone calls and text messages, your music and podcasts and audiobooks, as well as your favorite navigation apps such as Google Maps or Apple Maps or Waze, and that displays that all right on the screen of the vehicle here. And then you're able to use voice commands to control those functions, such as getting a text and being able to speak a response back. The settings tab is the last one along the bottom there, and you'll see settings there for things like our sound, our clock adjustment, Bluetooth, radio, navigation, vehicle settings, and a couple other things like that in there. Moving on, if we look down, right beneath the radio controls, we do have that climate control section here. So we have driver temperature, fan speed, passenger temperature, along with a power button for the climate control, our front defroster, our rear defroster, our air conditioning and recirculate modes, along with the max AC shortcut button there. And then we have our heated and cooled seats, auto mode, and our dual mode there as well. This vehicle has a couple buttons just on either side of these controls here. We have a button to release the glove box there, and then we have what's called auto hold. With auto hold turned on, the vehicle will, when you've come to a stop at whether at a stoplight or in traffic, when you come to a stop, the vehicle will hold the brake pedal for you essentially, and you're able to take your foot off the brake pedal, and the vehicle will hold you in place until you hit the gas, at which point it will release the brakes and let you move forward. We also have a push button start here for this vehicle, along with a push button shifter. So we have buttons for park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport, and simply press whatever gear it is that you're trying to access to change gears there. Moving over to the steering wheel, we have controls here and here which look similar, and then we have media controls such as volume, skipping through presets, and answering and hanging up phone calls. We have a mute button and our voice command button here. On the left side we have our cruise control with an on-off switch. You'll see when it's turned on we have a icon appearing in the right side of the gauge cluster. Once you've turned the cruise on, simply push set, either one, to set the speed. The vehicle will then set that speed, and you're able to then push the plus sign to accelerate, the minus sign to decelerate, and then we have buttons for cancel and resume there as well. These control pads here, we have an up, down, left, right arrows, and an OK button. That's going to control that middle portion that you see displayed in the gauge cluster. By pushing the left arrow, we access our menu, which essentially gives us access to seeing entertainment information, navigation, phone, and speedometer. And you'll see that we have an arrow on the right side as well, and pressing that allows us to change what source of audio we're listening to. And then scrolling up and down in this section would allow us to cycle through the different presets you have set for the radio. The navigation section will display a compass unless there is an active route, in which case it would display the next turn-by-turn prompt on your route for you there. The phone section, again, we don't have a phone added right now, so there's nothing to display, but it would have access to things like your quick dials and favorites and missed calls and things like that. And then the last thing we have there is a speedometer and a digital readout, just so it's easier to read. This control on this side is going to control the left side portion of that screen. We have available in this section here, we have trip 1 and 2. And we can reset those values by holding down the OK button here. You'll notice that that trip section is going to track distance traveled, average miles per gallon, and time elapsed. We'll reset those values to start fresh. Pressing the left arrow takes us back to the menu, where we can then go to the fuel economy section. Again, we can reset any values in there, such as an average miles per gallon. The driver assist section gives us access to some of the systems in the vehicle that are designed to assist you in specific situations, such as our traction control, our blind spot monitor in the side view mirrors, our rear cross traffic alert, which is the ability for the vehicle to alert you if you're backing out of a parking space or a driveway and there is a vehicle approaching from one side or the other. It would use the blind spot indicators in the side view mirror to indicate which side the vehicle is coming from. We have a layout here of the all-wheel drive system, just showing where the power is being sent to. We have the rear parking aid, whether that's on or off, and then we have tire monitor, which is showing us tire pressure for all 4 tires. Lastly, we have settings, and we have some vehicle settings here that can be changed to the driver's preferences there. Looking behind the steering wheel, we have a paddle here on the right side with the plus sign and one on the left side with the minus sign. Those paddles are used for manually upshifting gears or downshifting gears, and we would do so when we were using the sport mode or gear here. You'll see we have sport mode now active. Pulling the paddles then allows us to manually change between the gears of the transmission. For most people, you'll be able to put the vehicle in drive and just drive it as an automatic normally, but they do give you the option there of manually changing gears if you so choose. The windshield wipers are going to be here on this stalk on the right side. Click down for a single swipe, click up for the auto positions. These are rain sensing wipers. They will speed up and slow down depending on how much rain is hitting the windshield. If necessary, you are able to adjust it in intermittent capacity just by rotating this dial here. If we click up again, that's the low speed setting. And if we click up once more, that's the high speed setting. All the way back down puts us in the off position. Your rear wiper is right on the end of the stalk here. Simply click the top half for intermittent and click it once more for the on position, and then flush like that for off. And then spray for the windshield. You'll pull the stalk towards you for the front spray and push the stalk away from you for the rear spray. Looking at the left stalk here, we have our blinkers as well as our brights. Push away to turn them on and pull towards you to flash them. Looking down below, we have our headlight controls here. Simply rotate this dial and you'll see we have auto headlights available here. If you put it in that position, the headlights will come on at night as needed and turn off during the day, leaving you with daytime running lights so you're still visible to other drivers. On either side of that, we have an adjustment for the brightness levels of the interior backlighting for our gauges and switches here. You'll see we can increase or decrease the brightness there. Just to the right of that, we have our powered liftgate switch, so we're able to open or close that powered tailgate right from inside the vehicle here. Down below, we have our parking brake, which is electronic. Simply pull that switch like so to engage it, And with your foot on the brake pedal, push on it like so to disengage. Looking at the side of us here, we have our door locks along with our 3 driver's seat memory presets. You simply adjust everything where you'd like it to be and press and hold until there is a beep on whichever slot you're using. Then looking at the door, we have our window switches here, our window locks, our power folding mirrors, and then our powered mirror adjustments. Up above, we have HomeLink programmable garage door opener buttons here. We have our dome lights available on either side here. A button that turns on the dome lights in the whole vehicle. And then a switch that tells the doors to turn the dome lights on when they're open and turn the dome lights off once they're closed. We have controls here for the panoramic sunroof. You can open the glass with this portion here, close the glass with this portion, tilt the glass here, and then we can close and open the shade for that sunroof right there. Those are the primary functions of this 2018 Lincoln MKX. If you have any further questions, please refer to us at waltersautos.com or feel free to call 269-375-7008. Thank you.